The First Amendment, the United States Constitution. Fools will tell you that the Second Amendment is important because Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, ensures the rest of our Constitution. That is not true. The First Amendment is important, more important, not because it's the first. The First Amendment, aka the Bill of Rights, is important. The freedom of religion, the freedom of assembly, the freedom to address the government for grievances, and the freedom of speech. The freedom of speech. The freedom of speech that Donald Trump has repeatedly violated. But the main course of this violation was him ordering the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, who is nothing more than a right-wing sycophant himself, to pull Jimmy Kimmel off the air after I don't know if I can call it a joke, because Jimmy Kimmel told the truth about what's wrong with Donald Trump after he was asked, "Are you okay?" a week after the assassination of his so-called friend, I'm putting air quotes on that, friend, Charlie Kirk.
Over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. You can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
Yes. Okay. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction.
The day following
didn't say anything offensive about Charlie Kirk. He didn't celebrate the murder of Charlie Kirk. He didn't say he got what he deserved. He acknowledged the fact that the right wing, even now, weeks after the murder took place, is breaking their backs trying to find a way to twist this as some nefarious left-wing plot, some psychopathic Democratic plot, some plot to eliminate right-wing voices. And you know that Donald Trump's narcissism and being asked a question, "Are you okay?" a week after the death of his friend, his so-called friend. And his response is Trump being Trump. He doesn't care. He never did. But what Jimmy Kirk said got him pulled off his show canceled by ABC under direct orders of the FCC chairman and Carr, after direct orders from Donald Trump. And I could say that this happened out of the blue, but this has been years in the making. Jimmy Kimmel has pulled no punches on Donald Trump. Years in the making. Now that he's president again, he can go after whoever he wants. At least he thought. Because Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air. After Disney, the parent company of ABC, lost billions of dollars. Not in the stock market, mind you. but people were canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions. People were stopping going to Disneyland and canceling their plans to go there as well. After actors, one among them, Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, stood with Jimmy Kimmel in opposition to what happened to him. Now, Carr and Trump want to frame this as a consequences situation, but it was not. Jimmy Kimmel did not make fun of Charlie Kirk after his death or celebrate. Again, I'm repeating myself, I know. But he didn't do any of that. What Jimmy Kimmel did do was cross Donald Trump for calling him out as a narcissist, as all of us see. Hell, even his followers probably see it. But in doing what Carr did, in doing what Trump did, pointed a very dangerous weapon at the altar of the First Amendment. Donald Trump pointed a very dangerous gun at our freedoms. And I don't want to sound like I'm threatening the man or anything else, but you come after our rights, Trump, you will face resistance from the people of this country. You're already facing resistance from some of your biggest followers. Ted Cruz, just to name one. Not because it's the right thing to do, to stand up for the Constitution. No. Ted Cruz is standing up because he's terrified that right-wingers will be next on the chopping block. But in any case, Donald Trump, as he has before, has lost in this particular battle. But unfortunately, the war for our rights has begun. And Donald Trump, with his weapon, for lack of a better word, Brennan Carr, has fired the first shot. All because the truth about him and his narcissism came out in the worst ways possible. After the death of a supposed friend, he says he's okay and moves on. A comic actually calls this all out, not in a joking way, but to show what kind of a person he is, and he can't take that. Well, he's definitely not going to be able to take what I'm about to say about another situation that happened not too long ago. Donald Trump decided to take a little trip to New York, not for a vacation or anything else like that, but to address the General Assembly at the United Nations. Instead of acting as a leader of a nation, the President of the United States, speaking with dignity, honor, and everything we come to expect of addressing the body of the United Nations, he turns himself into nothing more than, again, a malignant narcissist and a complete psychopath. Here's a clip from that speech.
We have reasserted that America belongs to the American people, and I encourage all countries to take their own stand in defense of their citizens as well. You have to do that because I see it. I'm not mentioning names. I see it, and I can call every single one of them out. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody is ever, and nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it. And I have to say, I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible, terrible mayor. And it's been so changed, so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law, but you're in a different country. You can't do that. Both Sid, I can tell you, I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
Everything has to be strong, great, powerful under Donald Trump, because Trump is Trump. Trump walks in, he's the man. He can do no wrong. Calling other nations, some of which, a majority of which, are our allies, our partners in the world, telling them that their countries are going to hell. That shows to me that this guy isn't only a narcissist, he is a full-blown psychopath. I remember when reading a book about the Nuremberg trials and watching a movie about it, that one of the psychiatrists from the United States Army said he was looking for the root of evil in people. He believed he found it in interviewing the Nazi prisoners who were on trial there. He believed that the root of evil is a lack of empathy. A lack of empathy, which describes Donald Trump to a T. Many of these countries are poor, but many of these countries rely on us, and we at times rely on them. And for the President of the United States of America to go forward in front of the entire UN and say that your countries are going to hell because I'm not in charge, things are great in our country because of me, not because of the Constitution, not because of the hard work of millions of Americans, whether their job is being a soldier in the United States military or flipping burgers at McDonald's, whether they're farmers or whether they work at Walmart. It's not because of them. It's only because of Donald Trump. America is great. If I'm a leader of any country or an ambassador representing another nation and I heard what I just heard, I'm thinking one of two things, or both of these two things. One, we need to get away from the United States as fast as we can. And two, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Donald Trump has embarrassed this country with the final full measure. The fact is, as long as Donald Trump is President of the United States, I don't think we're ever going to survive this thing. America will go down as another banana republic that has fallen because of its corrupt leadership. And dare I say, Trump isn't the only problem. His entire cabinet is completely corrupted. Not mention Brandon Carr, the FCC chairman. He's just one of a long line of corrupted people in this administration willing to take a flamethrower to our Constitution just so they can appease Donald Trump. It's got to stop. It's bad enough that he's going after our freedoms in the Constitution to be destroyed because he can't handle that he is out of control, a narcissist, and obviously a person that has some mental damage inside him. But now it's worse that he has done whatever he can to embarrass this country. And the real problem is our enemies, like Vladimir Putin, are sitting back, popping popcorn, and watching our country fall into darkness because of the man who will do everything he can, and he knows this, to curry favor with him over the American people. Enough is enough. Donald Trump must be removed from office through impeachment, through the 25th Amendment. Now the MAGA will say that I'm calling for violence, that they'll lie and say that I'm threatening Donald Trump. No, I am not. I've said repeatedly, over and over again, that I want him in jail. I want him arrested and removed from office. At no point have I threatened violence against him or anyone else. It's too bad that they won't give me the same consideration, considering the lies that continue being posted about me. Heck, someone actually created a Twitter page about me where lies are being posted on a daily basis about me, putting my life at risk. And I'm not surprised at this. Look at the man they worship. A man who hates everyone that doesn't yield to him. A man who puts everyone at risk because they question him. A man who has already made clear that he will burn the Constitution because nobody is bowing to him. Enough is enough. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.